you know, I thought, because I came here in the winter when they asked me to come and check the place out, I thought it was all a big construction zone. But I was so wrong. There's the construction zone, but this is beautiful. Yeah. And this is the place that Darrow knew and loved. He lived very near here, and he came here often. And well, this is called the Clarence Darrow Bridge. Later we're going to find out who's going to heal it. But right now it's safe. We don't walk on it. So I want to tell you the story of why we're here every March 13th at 10 a.m. And that is because Clarence Darrow and you too, and friends of his made a pact with each other that whoever died first, their ashes would be scattered somewhere. And if it was at all possible, at the time people believed that they were communing with the dead all the time. So they said, if it's really possible, we'll be there at 10 a.m. on the anniversary of the death of whoever goes first. So it was Darrow. He went first. And he had his ashes thrown right there in this place that he loved. And much later,
Darrow just called.
I knew he'd come. There had to be something with this group of people about March 13th, right? Darrow will come, the weather will be great. Never happened before. That like that. Anyway, I wanted to take a minute and remember other spirits that helped, that founded this event and that came every year. One is Linda Prey, our alderman of the 5th Ward of many years, who came to this. I don't know if he lived till he was past 100.
101.
101, thank you. Okay. And he came and talked to us, but at the end, he was here reliably, as were others. 2 of them were the Weinbergs, Anita's parents. Where's Anita? Her parents, who were Darrow's biographers, and they were part of getting this going. And then there was Judge, or sometimes Justice Seymour Simon, who was a wonderful, wonderful advocate against the death penalty, which most of you probably know was very close to Darrow's heart, and Len's, and most of us. And Elmer Gertz, who was a great trial lawyer in the tradition of Clarence Darrow. And they all came every year, and then they said why Darrow was here, because of what they believed that we were still holding on to, and that's why we come here, to hold on to those principles. So I thought we were going to have more trouble summoning Darrow this year because of the construction zone. Boy, was I wrong. But we have somebody here who's a young person. I think young people must be attractive to spirits of the dead. Don't you think so? And that is Marissa Howe. And Marissa, where are you? Come here. Marissa, are you a junior in high school?
I am. Yeah.
She's a junior in high school. And Marissa won a prize last year for a project she did about Darrow. And in fact, the committee that puts this event together, the Clarence Darrow Commemorative Committee, has started a prize with the Chicago Metro History Fair. And I've asked, we're going to get to see some of Marissa's work when we go inside, whoever comes inside. But she's the first winner of that prize. And when you go inside, you'll be able to see like a little documentary that she put together. But I asked her to tell us why she wanted to do something about Darrow.
Okay, so what I made was for a history event. It was a 10-minute long documentary about Darrow. about what he did during his life and why it is important. And one of the reasons why I was first interested in Darrow was coming in from a perspective where I had no idea who he was. The first thing that really struck me about him was the fact that he was incredibly ahead of his time in so many issues. He was involved in so many cases and he did so much in his lifetime. And it was all very radical and very important for his time, especially with the cases that he was involved in. And all of those things struck me enough that I decided to make a documentary about him, and it did eventually win the Darrow Prize that was given out in, I believe, May of last year. That was quite an honor.
And well, we're so glad you did it. Thank you.
Thank you.
So if you know young people, tell them about this prize. We want things about Darrow or about anything that Darrow cared about. Now, I can't see, but I think she was that way. I'd like to call on Leslie Hairston. Oh, she's not. Leslie, we want to congratulate Leslie because she just had a great big win to still be our alderman. And I heard a rumor that when you complete this term, you will have served as long as Linda Prey. Is that true?
That is correct.
Well, lucky for us, she's a hard-working lady. So talk to us.
Thank you. It is my honor to be here. I've been coming here for almost 2 decades now. I do miss my friend and my mentor, Linda Prey. We shared so many conversations about the world and what is going on over the years. And I think that he would be very disturbed at what he sees going on in the world today. What we're seeing in states across the United States, the way people are treating one another. I think that Clarence Darrow would be appalled at the way we as citizens are acting towards other human beings. Whether you're talking about racial relations, whether you're talking about immigration, whether you're talking about anything that impacts the lives of people and their ability to be free citizens, I think they would be more active than ever. And so I am pleased to be here today, as I am on every March 13th. Clarence talked to me this morning, and he gave me a message for you all. And he said for us to continue the fight. The work is not over. So thank you.
So while we're still in the 5th Ward, that's our 5th Ward alderman, I'd like to call on Louise McCurry. I'm not seeing people. Here she is. Louise is the president of the Jackson Park, this is Jackson Park Advisory Council, and she agreed to tell us what's happening by way of construction there and what's going to happen to our beloved Clarence Darrow Bridge.
Thank you so much. It's a
Thank
pleasure
you
coming
so
today.
much. Yeah.
Welcome on the fact that spring is here. We know it now. We've got sunshine. We've got great things. And we need all of you to help in work days in the park. We have a job for everybody. Clarence Darrow Bridge is very important because it's where we start all of our tours for Jackson Park. Every Saturday from May until July, we give free tours there, including stories about Clarence Darrow and the story of Darrow's life. Luis Benitez, who's the architect for CDOT that we've been working with for the last 2 years now, it seems like forever. The plan has been to first of all get the funding to repair the bridge. The funding is out now there. Now we have a new governor. The problem now is to get the new governor to sign off on the pay order to actually pay the architect who's putting together the plans to make it happen. And as these things go, we have a new governor with a different party, and that may take some time, as I understand. Louis was going to be here today, but I guess I did not make it, which is too bad. But anyway, the important thing is that things are happening slowly but surely as these things happen. There's going to be a new decorative fence. They decided our chain link fence wasn't quite pretty enough, so a new decorative fence is going to go up to make it look more in keeping with the park district, and that's supposed to go up sometime this month. But things are happening. We keep calling and writing and getting people out to meetings, and little by little we now have a plan for a new bridge. The bridge will look like it looked at the World's Fair of 1893. The idea is going to be that beautiful Clarence Darrow Bridge before it was named after Clarence Darrow. It'll be that wonderful bridge for the World's Fair. It'll be gorgeous, and it'll be a wonderful, wonderful addition to the park. But it's going to take time, and that's okay, because we understand how important it is to get it right the first time. So it's part of the whole project, one putting process of putting back wonderful trees and flowers and opening up the way that Olmsted planned it, the way that Olmsted designed it. The bridge will just be one more part of it, but a beautiful, beautiful part. It is, this bridge is actually, as it looks in 1893, is my screensaver for my computer. So I look at it every single day and say, it's happening little by little, so very soon, just keep up the good work. They're saying by 2017, it will be done.
Oh my goodness.
That's our goal.
Thank you. Well, it'll be a place that Darrow will recognize. That's a good thing. You know, Darrow, Darrow cared deeply about justice, as everybody, we all know. And for him, and for many of us, justice is entwined with worker justice. So we have always wanted to have a representative from labor here to be part of this, and we have that guy. This is Larry Spivak, who is the regional director of AFSCME's, the director of AFSCME's Regional Council 31. I got it. And the president of the Illinois Labor History Society. So it's a nicer day than I thought it would be. Say whatever you want.
Thank you, Nina. Oh, gosh, I love Nina. Every single program, Nina is there, and we remember United Packing House Workers of America and her family and their heritage. And I see the spirit of our founder, one of our founders of the Labor History Society, Les O'Rear, and his daughter Lynn is here to say hello. But Les is here, who went a little bit on Len Dupre and Studs Terkel and made it this last May to 103. But he would be actually, in so many ways, enthusiastic beyond any of us could be, because that's who he was. And I think that he lived through the spirit of Clarence Darrow. Clarence Darrow, who is has been around here a lot lately because we just achieved national park status, called National Monument in Pullman, Illinois, where he cut his teeth on labor because he went from being a management railroad attorney to saying, you know what? Justice is about solidarity. It's about people working together. It's about an organized labor movement and trying to begin to realize that it's time to get out of the Gilded Age and into the modern age. And we move that way, but unfortunately in some ways we move back as we move forward, which is happening today in the world of workers and society, perhaps because of the politicians we elect or we don't elect, when only 18% of the people voted to elect this governor out of the 30% or 33% that voted. So is it a democracy? I think Clarence Darrow would say it can't be a democracy if workers have to choose between no pension, unlivable wages, the attack on their constitutional rights to have a pension. And he would say this to the current governor, and he would say this to any Democrat that supports those positions. Just as he had to say to the Democratic president in 1894 that he thought it was a bad idea that the president of this country, a Democrat, sent in federal troops, and so to quell the Pullman strike. So if Clarence Darrow looked at this document, which I think is great, that there's already a document for the national park, if you love your national park maps, he would say, where's the picture of Eugene Debs? And so the Labor History Society is going to keep working to make sure that Eugene Debs and A. Philip Randolph's picture are on here, on this cover, with George Pullman. So thank you, Clarence, for being with us today, because you're going to help the rest of us go back and end those right to work for less laws, to save the pensions of working people in this country, to raise the standard of living so that the idea that what he stood for was a democracy, economic democracy. Thank you.
So now we want to hear from Gene Winkler, who's been a faithful participant here for many years. and you were the pastor of Chicago Temple for a long time. I understand you're retired now. I think very busy probably. And he has been reminding us of what Darrow cared about every time he comes. Do it again.
One of my heroes is the Danish 19th century writer Søren Kierkegaard. I was in Copenhagen last year to give a lecture at the 200th anniversary of Kierkegaard's life and work. An amazing man. Kierkegaard wrote 45 books before he died at the age of 42. And he loved geese. I'm not as fond of geese as Kierkegaard was. But one of his parables, one of his stories he told was about these geese, religious geese, who every Sunday morning would gather in the barnyard to worship, and the preacher goose would get up on the fence and preach to the geese. And he would say, look at those geese flying up there, up in the air. That's what we were meant to do. God created us to fly, to be creative, to go forward, to do great things. And the geese would all say, amen, amen. And then, when the preacher got down from the fence, they would all go back into the barn to be fattened up for the kill.
Yeah.
We come here today like those geese. We come here, I've been coming here 40 years. Lynn Dupre, whose office was in the Temple building, as was Clarence Darrow's, was one of my mentors, one of my best friends. Herb Krause, Anita's parents, the premier biographers of Darrow. And now I'm the youngster. And I think of all these times we've come here, and like those geese, we've said amen, amen. And then we've gone back to our nice middle-class lives and done nothing. Now, friends, think about Ferguson and New York City and Cleveland and the south side and the west side of our city. Think about what we're about. We can't just leave this place today and go back after saying amen about Clarence Darrow and what he stood for in terms of labor and the death penalty and all of these issues and continue to live as if nothing had happened. If we believe in Clarence Darrow and what he stood for, let's go forth from this place to make a difference, to change the life of this country in a very perilous time.
Yes, thank you. I know some people here who are going forth already, but we always can use reminders, right? Thank you. So, that's the end of the outside talking. We're going to bring our flowers to Clarence in case he didn't make it all the way here. And then we're going to go inside the museum for whoever can come. There'll be other people there, I'm quite sure. To the Rosenwald room, right?
Right.
So that's a new place for us. A new place or a new
Same
name?
room, new name.
Same room, new name. So you can go to the Columbian room if you want. You'll be in the right place. Anyway, we have a program, a wonderful, we think, wonderful program about immigration. And we have speakers who have all been working very hard and doing profoundly important things with immigrants and on immigrant rights. Two of them I know are here right now. They're friends, sisters of mercy. I don't know if the other speaker is here yet. But come inside. I think it'll be a treat. So first we're going to put the flowers in. Whoever is a heart and soul.
No, you can go over the bridge too. Leslie, go toss it in. I'll take a picture before you toss it in and send it to you. Okay. And get that nice thing in the background there. Okay.
Sports photography, I can't even.
1, 2, 3. One more for good luck. There we go. 1, 2, 3. Oh, no. You know, I still have our picture on my desk. Of the one of you, Susanna, and and you. Yeah, me. Oh, there's you in there. Hey,
just feel free to anytime. Anytime. Anytime.
On 3. Right, I'm in country. Okay. Wait.